We are counting down the days to Christmas, just 7 days more, and on Kaleidoscope, Santa has his sleigh full. This week, Rodrigo's, the Bayleaf and the Kingsbury are all helping Santa with gifts for our Kaleidoscope subscribers. Welcome to Kaleidoscope with me, Savithri Rodrigo. On our snapshot is SriLankan Airlines Chairman Ashok, our People's Bank News Capsule has Deshaldi from Verite Research and mental health advocate Adle Mohammed. We get on the set of Funny Boy to chat with Brandon Ingram and Rehan Mudannayaka on SriLankan Life Let's Talk, and we trot off to the Kingsbury for a merry and masked Christmas on singer Life in 60. We begin our Kaleidoscope snapshot with news that Sri Lanka's foreign reserves fell by $300 million to $5.5 billion in November. In October, the cumulative outflow from government securities was $532 million. The Millennium Challenge Corporation discontinues the proposed $480 million compact with Sri Lanka. SriLankan Airlines was the first international airline to touch down in Australia after the pandemic hit this year. Chairman of SriLankan Airlines, Ashok, gave Kaleidoscope an idea of what the reception was like in Australia.
Australian aviation authorities have been always very helpful. They were pushing us to fly into Sydney. We had the plans before pre-COVID. We were planning to go into Sydney. So we will continue that. Hopefully with the situation improves.
The Department of Posts has launched a new cash-on-delivery courier service from all post offices. The Chinese economy is likely to surpass the US economy by 2028. Adidas, the German sportswear giant, may sell its US-targeted Reebok brand. On the 21st of December, Saturn and Jupiter will come together to create a huge fireball in the sky. Oh, and a 78-year-old Harrison Ford will return as Indiana Jones in the 5th and final episode. And that's our Kaleidoscope snapshot this week. We start our People's Bank News Capsule with an opinion that Sri Lanka's budget 2021 is overly optimistic on the revenue side, despite commitments to maintain slashed taxes for the next 5 years. While this does paint a positive picture for the private sector, Research Director of Verite Research, Deshaldi succinctly places the ground realities of the budget in perspective.
The 2021 budget was presented in the backdrop of two significant economic challenges. The first, economic contraction due to COVID-19. The second, external debt management and rollover risk. The budget had to balance these two competing challenges. The economic contraction warrants fiscal stimulus, and external debt management demands a path to fiscal consolidation. Budget 2021 presents a strong response to this first challenge of growth stimulus. Tax breaks are provided for targeted investments, incentives are provided for agriculture, capital markets, and so on. And there's also a substantial government capex in the budget. This stimulus, however, results in a significant budget deficit of close to double-digit levels, which makes external debt management much more challenging. Global markets were not expecting an immediate fiscal consolidation in 2021, but markets were expecting the government to present a path to fiscal consolidation over the medium term. The budget did not fully meet this expectation of global markets, which is why we have seen downgrades by key rating agencies. In 2021, Sri Lanka has to repay $4 billion worth of sovereign debt, and in 2022, a further $4.5 billion needs to be repaid. Overall, in the next 5 years, Sri Lanka needs to repay $23 billion worth of external debt, whilst current reserves are at $5.5 billion. Therefore, with adverse credit ratings and the lack of access to global capital markets, Sri Lanka faces an external debt rollover risk that the government needs to address soon.
Having had a good run the last fortnight, the stock market had a few ups and downs this week. The indices remained unchanged over the week, with the daily turnover averaging 3.1 billion rupees. All eyes were on benchmark crude oil prices this week after Brent prices rose to almost $50 per barrel. WTI oil has been moving up steadily this week and is currently trading at $48.41 per barrel. Gold was slightly higher at $1,877 per ounce, in line with the gain of about 26.5% this year. Being a life insurance market leader also means walking the talk and delivering on your brand promise. SriLankan Life, which keeps to its promises of a relationship for life, paid out a significant 9.1 billion rupees worth of net claims and benefits to policyholders in the third quarter this year, an increase of 12.8% over the corresponding 9 months. The United Nations has called for all governments to declare a state of climate emergency, stating that temperatures could rise more than 3 degrees this century. Companies like Swedish-based Renewcell are already on the job of reducing their carbon footprint. With 85% of textiles going into landfills, it turns worn-out clothes into cellulose pulp, which is transformed into textile fibers called Circulose. This December won't be a time where family and friends will gather for joy and festivity. Counsellor and Assistant Centre Manager at Shanti Margam, trainer, facilitator and advocate for mental health, Adle Mohammed says strengthening relationships should be a priority.
Christmas is just around the corner, and I think we are all aware that this Christmas is going to be a bit different compared to all the Christmases we've had. This Christmas is going to be difficult because we might not be able to see a lot of loved ones. People who usually visit might not be able to visit. We might not be able to afford to spend on a lot of things like we used to. So it's a time for us not only to reflect, but see what we can do as family and friends together to take care of each other in a time like this. If we can have conversations with each other about how we are feeling and share our thoughts and make it something that's shareable, that it's not easy for all of us to go through what we are going through this Christmas, and that still as family and friends we can still be there for each other and still enjoy it. So taking care of our mental health during this time is of vital importance, and we all can do that by being there for each other, listening and just expressing how we feel.
With the world reflecting on the birth of Christ in December, remember King Herod, who was trying his best to kill the Christ child? King Herod's favorite palace has been unearthed, and for the first time, visitors will see Herodium's arched stairway, the foyer and a private theatre. 'Tis the season to be arrested. Peruvian police dressed up as Santa and his elf arrested a family of drug dealers who were on the naughty list. So this week, Santa has a full sleigh. We're adding the Christmassy feeling with a brewer from Rodrigo's and a dinner for two at the Bayleaf, which serves some great authentic Italian fare, and a delectable high tea for four from the Kingsbury to the value of 7,400 rupees. All you have to do is subscribe, answer the question and email or WhatsApp the answer with your contact details. Kaleidoscopeweekly1@gmail.com is our email, and 0763555526 is our WhatsApp number. Now, the question is, which country began the tradition of putting up Christmas trees? And keep watching for last week's winners. We'll be back with two protagonists in Funny Boy, Brandon Ingram and Rehan Mudannayaka. On SriLankan Life, let's talk.
With SriLankan Life Pension Saver, Sri Lanka's premier retirement plan, start planning for your retirement today. SriLankan Life, a relationship for life.
Here I am on part of the set of award-winning director Deepa Mehta's film Funny Boy. It was filmed here and it's based on Shyam Selvadure's book Funny Boy, and it had its worldwide release last week. The film and the book, somewhat complex in nature in its outlook, talks about the lead up to the bloodshed and injustice of a convoluted war and portrays the tale of gay teenage love. It is Canada's Oscar entry for Best International Feature. While Deepa Mehta's Water gained this similar honour in 2007 at the Oscars, it is her movie Fire that is truly closer in body, mind and spirit to Funny Boy. On SriLankan Life Let's Talk today, we chat with two protagonists of the movie, both Sri Lankan and both incredible actors. Also, an author is Brandon Ingram, who plays RG, the wealthy Tamil boy in the movie, and we have Rehan Mudannayaka, who plays Shehan, who is his friend, and whose short film Didi, in fact, was selected for screening at the 2020 Academy Awards Holly Shorts Film Festival. Both of you, how do you feel? Your film is going to the Oscars.
Still can't believe it. I mean, this is the stuff dreams are made of. I'm not sure. Most days I wake up and I still don't believe it. You know, I just like
look up someone's Instagram page or Facebook page or IMDb page now, and then I know it's real. But yeah, most of them I'm like, this is not happening.
Brandon, is there anything in this story that resonates with you personally?
Oh my God, so much. But very specifically, since we're seated in this room, there's a scene that we shot here. I'm not going to give much away, but the lines actually were inspired by a conversation that I had with Deepa about my own coming out story to my mom. And it was a rough and beautiful day, and we exchanged so much. And there were tears, of course. And at a certain point, I turned to her and I said, "Ma, why are you crying? You know, I'm the one who should be crying." And then we reached a lovely point of understanding with each other. But you will see when you watch the film that there's a moment in this room that's inspired by those events, by that exact story.
What is it, Brandon, that you yourself see in this story?
So I know people have interpreted it in many different ways, that it's about a lot of things. But when I saw Funny Boy the first time, and then subsequently twice after, what I noticed was that there was a common thread of forbidden love running through it, told from 3 different stories. At times it was, duty versus desire, and the love that comes from that. And at other times it was family versus race. And then in the final story, the one that Shehan and Arji share, it was about expectation versus sexuality. And I think all of those just, are moved by the thread of forbidden love. And I thought that was beautiful.
Do you think Funny Boy sheds light on 2 issues? One is, like Brandon said, forbidden love, and the other one is the bigger picture of the communal problems that Sri Lanka is still grappling with.
I think I was inspired by how unapologetically honest the story was. I mean, it's been nearly 30 years since the book came out, and the story is still terrifyingly relevant. I was attracted to both of those, I think, both those points.
Not only does it do that, but what Deepa does so masterfully and what Shyam has done so masterfully in his story is that it uses the unit of family to do it. Because within this unit, we find all of the prejudice, the conflict, the pain, the hurt, the love, and how, in the exchange of it all, we become. And we continue to become, and we continue to evolve in who we are. So I think with family drama being at the heart of it, that it touches upon all of this other stuff is beautiful. I think so, but I'm biased.
Rehan, as a director yourself, what is it that you learned from Deepa Mehta?
Well, I would say that working with Deepa was kind of like the acting school or film school I never had. As a director, I feel like I learned how to communicate my own directorial vision more authentically and respectfully. I also say that directing is essentially problem solving, but directing with Deepa is advanced problem solving. And I was so amazed by her ability to solve problems within a few seconds. What would usually take me about an hour to figure out, she figured out literally in a matter of seconds. And I learned a lot from that.
It is in Arji's family home that we sit in today as we did this little delve into Funny Boy with our 2 actors, Brandon Ingram and Rehan Mudannaika. It is in that feel of bygone romanticism, augmented with a soundtrack by Howard Shore, who did the soundtrack for Lord of the Rings, with just the right touch of extravaganza, if that's what it could be called. The cast of the movie includes Nimmi Harasgama, Ali Kazmi, Agam Darshi, Shivanta Vijayasinghe and Ruin De Silva. And I'd like to say a huge thank you to both Brandon and Rehan for joining us on Selinko Life Let's Talk. It has truly been extremely captivating to talk to these 2 young men who are now going to the Oscars.
With Selinko Life Pension Saver, Sri Lanka's premier retirement plan, start planning for your retirement today. Selinko Life, a relationship for life.
Next up on Singer Life in 60, we're at the Kingsbury for a merry and masked Christmas. It is just 1 week to Christmas, and on Singer Life in 60, we decided to visit the Kingsbury, that is celebrating a merry and masked Christmas. And so I came to the Kingsbury to check out how they are celebrating Christmas. And I met up with Executive Chef Ashan Lianage and Director of Public Relations Amanda Fernando. And I asked Amanda, why are you celebrating Christmas as merry and masked?
Kingsbury this year is celebrating Christmas on the theme Merry and Masked because we want everyone to be happy and be filled with the joy of Christmas while being safe.
What you see at the Kingsbury are recipes all tried and tested, from a traditional Christmas pudding to the brooders to the Christmas cake and roast turkey meals, the lamb Wellingtons, the beef Wellingtons. We can do anything for you for Christmas.
So as you can see, Christmas is rather merry at the Kingsbury. Everything that you would love for traditional Christmas. That is, from roast turkey to beef Wellington to salmon Wellington, leg of lamb and even honey roast ham. Plus, those amazing brooders, Christmas cake and Yule logs, all at the Kingsbury, plus these delectable cupcakes for Christmas. So thank you Kingsbury for making us a part of your Christmas, and also to Executive Chef Ashan Lianage and Director Public Relations Amanda Fernando for joining us on Singer Life in 60. Winning the Amami gift packs this week are Manami Lianasuria and Christine Udugama. The cinnamon grand dinner for 4 at Plates, which opens tomorrow, Teshani Varusavithana. And a one-night stay for a family of 4 in the kiddies themed room with breakfast at Cinnamon Lakeside is Shannon Misso. Congratulations all 4 of you, and do keep watching Kaleidoscope. As you know, Santa has more this week and the next, so do click on the subscribe button on our YouTube channel, Kaleidoscope with Savithri Rodrigo, and press the bell icon to remain updated. As we enter the holiday season, things will continue to be in a state of flux. Be safe. Now, here's your Kaleidoscope takeaway. Let us remember that a Christmas heart is a giving heart.